What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My last point of view video with the Fiesta ST, I said I was going to get it on the dyno, and we're here today at GAD Tuning down in Burnham-on-Crouch. Anthony's just loading up the car onto the dyno now. Yeah, and obviously we're going to aim for that magic 330 number, both foot-pounds and brake horsepower, and we'll see how we go from there. Right, so here's Anthony. He's going to explain a bit about the dyno and how it works, because originally I thought it was just you put the car on the dyno and you just basically just floor it in fourth gear. Normally fourth gear, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, so that's another thing as well that's a bit of a common misconception. So you've got a couple of different dyno styles. So a really common one is an inertia dyno, which basically relies on a really big, heavy drum, and it measures the acceleration of, you know, that mass at that diameter. But what these dynos do, these are steady state. So there's a electromagnetic eddy brake that the drive roller is connected directly into. So basically what you can do is you can hold the car at any throttle position you want, under any load, in pretty much any gear. So if you wanted to, like, you know, say you're having issues with a certain part of the RPM range and you wanted to log that part, you could get the car to there and start putting it under load, and the dyno will stop it from accelerating. So you'll literally hold it where you want. When you want to do like a sweep test or a power run, the dyno has lots of lock modes, which are specifically for certain types of power that the cars produce, but also it's based on the actual lock modes are based on how many cylinders it's got. So yours being a 4-part, we have lock 4. And there's lock 4F, which is for like very powerful 4-cylinder cars. There's lock 6, lock 10, lock 12, you know, all for different versions. So
did you have to use the lock 4F for mine?
Well, actually, when I ran it in lock 4F, the power was about the same and the torque was much lower. So it was, I'd probably say it was ramping too fast for the car. So the car probably wasn't meeting ignition strategies that it was meant to under load. So no, lock 4 was perfect for it. It loaded the car up, and then basically it will release the brake at a certain amount of kilometers per hour per second, and then it will measure how the car pushes against that roller. Yeah. So as it's pushing against that roller, there's a load cell in there that measures how much twist or how much torque is being applied, and then from there it can calculate. The other thing as well that I didn't actually explain to you, the dyno always, especially when the weather's like this, penalises you, because the dyno actually has a weather station built in. So it monitors all the atmospherics. Yeah. And will penalise you, especially on a day like this, because the air's nice and moist, it's cool. We're not dealing with, you know, rubbish temperatures or anything like that. So,
well, like too hot, like 35 degrees outside.
Exactly. You know, so let's say it was 35 degrees. If anything, it would go the other way, and it would say, you know, this is the power, this is the raw data I've collected from the car, but the conditions are not, you know, suitable really. So actually, it will bump your number up a little bit. But that's not something that we can control. The dyno does that. Like, I can't fiddle with that. You can't mess with that. You can't do that to then get you any better results or anything like that. It just sits there, and it's, you know, it can't be messed with. horsepower, which is done 454 newton meters of torque.
Looks like a good line as well, nice and consistent.
Well, something's robbing you of your mid-range. So you say that it's 300. This package is quoted at 330 horsepower, 330 foot-pound.
Yep.
So 330 foot-pound is actually 447 newton meters. So she's quite strong on torque. You can feel it when everything ramps in. But something's definitely robbing you of your mid-range, and if you look at your AFR, which is your fuel ratios, exactly where your mid-range is getting robbed.
Yep.
Something's happening with your fueling. Has a little bit of a wobble, and you can see that correlate in the plot.
Yeah.
So when your fueling has a wobble, so I don't know, maybe duty cycle on the turbo, maybe something they've done with the fueling, I'm not sure.
This car's always been a bit it's gone for a couple of boost solenoids, because obviously it's still standard boost solenoid, and it didn't like that, and it sort of blew a couple. So maybe it's something to do with that, I don't know.
When was the last time it was changed? Yeah, it was pretty mad.
But no, thanks for having me in. It's been
welcome,
an
mate.
enjoyable morning.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, show me a little bit about the car. Obviously not quite the figure that we was aiming for, but it's still a strong, more torque, slightly less power.
So I'd probably say you're actually right there, because like I say, that dyno, it's a bit of a heartbreaker anyway, and the conditions were so perfect running it. So to only be 12 horsepower off what they quoted,
yeah,
where, like, you know, the dyno's penalising you because of conditions, I'd say you were probably right there. Like I say, torque was a little bit strong. They reckon 447, and it pulled a, you know, low 450s. So
yeah, it was a good line as well, apart from the little dip in the middle because of the
apart
fuel.
from that little dip that you can see happening with the fueling, it was set for, it was set to make, you know, it was a nice smooth curve.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that.
Cool.
But yeah, all right.
Thanks, mate.
So guys, there's the car done. It's finally, after 2 years, it's been on a dyno. Yeah, we'll leave it for there for now. So thanks for Gad tuning to having me down in the morning, and yeah, I will see you on the next one very soon. Thanks.